And welcome back to this portion of the Real Estate Radio Hour. Again, if you do have a real estate question, we'd entertain yours either by phone or by text. 651-989-9226, or send a text to the guys at 81807. Chris?
Hey, I just wanted to mention to people, we ended my football season's over. Yeah, it's over. We lost last night to Eden Prairie, and Prior Lake ended up getting beat too by Lakeville North. So
you lost to Eden Prairie?
Eden Prairie, yeah.
Oh, so
who's from there?
So things aren't all bad.
21-18. We just got a field goal tipped at the last minute. But anyways, yeah, it was good. But I'll tell you what, that's a great thing. I mean, obviously I enjoy the sports, but it's a great thing to go out and check out at the Dome. I mean, when the weather's not so great. But the next couple of weekends, they're going to be at the Dome. So people have a chance to get out there and check it out.
Support the team.
Absolutely. Okay, first-time home buyers. I think nobody's in disagreement here of us three, John Castilone, W.J. Bradley, and my partner, Andy Prasky, with RE/MAX Real Estate Properties, that we're all in agreement that the first thing a first-time home buyer should do is get pre-approved.
No doubt.
Find a good lender, someone that you're comfortable with, and go through the pre-approval process so that you're fully pre-approved. When you do find a home, you're ready to move forward. And that's different than the pre-qualification process. Pre-qualification is just kind of an initial look into what you would qualify for. Pre-approval is actually bringing all of your documentation, your pay stubs. And
so you're verifying it.
And you're fully verified through an electronic underwriting tool that is used either directly with Fannie or Freddie. And it'll give you an actual pre-underwriting approval.
Yeah, and the other thing I think is really important is to be honest with your lender and tell them everything, because if you let them know everything and not say, oh, you know what, that $5,000 I got hidden in the back, in the back shed, and I'm going to bring out and I'm going to deposit because I have the money. You got to talk about that because you guys can help them work that in, right?
Yeah, we can help you plan so that when you're ready, when you would like to move forward, you will be ready with the financing and you won't have to wait another 30 or 60 days for assets to clear or, money that you wanted to put in the cash that you keep in the cookie jar at home, whatever the situation might be, or if you have another possibly a credit issue that you'd like to correct, there might be something on your credit report that comes up that you weren't aware of. I just had this happen with a buyer yesterday. So it just takes a little bit of time sometimes to get that repaired, and it's good to be ready ahead of time.
Well, it's like going hunting without any ammunition in your gun. I mean, why would you go hunting and then you can't perform? You have to be prepared, and that's just, I think, a huge part of this process. And everybody's scared to talk to the mortgage guy because they figure they're going to get committed to him or they're going to have, this, the anxiety. I mean, I was a buyer back when, and I know what it's like, and how do I know who's the right guy? And, I think what it comes down to is I like the approach of having the approval. But the other thing is the real estate agents that are out there right now, the ones that are still out there, it's like I said, our herd has thinned out, as they say, and the good ones are left. And the agents that are out there, when you meet them and they say, hey, I've got a mortgage guy, like I refer John to my customers, the thing is that's worth something to me. I mean, like when you're out driving around, you've got your app on your phone and you're looking at Realtor.com, which I think is a fun app. If you've never downloaded that, that's a good one, Realtor.com. And you're driving around looking at the houses. They have open houses on there. They have the houses for sale. And then you meet that person for the first time. Ask them credentials. Ask them, who their mortgage partner is. And then, if it's a good fit, go for it.
And the same thing is true vice versa. If you already know someone who can help you with your financing and you're looking for a real estate partner, ask that lender because they've probably got folks that they've worked with that they have experience with and know will do a good job.
How come you've never referred anybody to me then, John? Just kidding.
Hey, he's referred a bunch to me.
Hey.
No, just kidding.
Oh, I see how this is going.
That email didn't go through, huh?
Anyways, all right. Another thing is I think a lot of people talk about is for a first-time home buyer is to think maybe longer term. I think a lot of times what happens is that people kind of get caught up into the granite and the stainless steel and the beautiful paints, but happens to be 2 bedroom, 1 bath, and you're planning to start a family. Well, you might be moving out of that kind of quick. So I know you talk to your clients about that all the time. Is that thinking about later on?
Well, John and I were just talking about this on our way here to the studio. As we were saying, like for an example, if I'm a first-time buyer and I'm in Minneapolis now and I've come here for a 2-year contract job or whatever it is, but I want to own a piece of real estate, I might not want a 30-year mortgage. We might look at an ARM or we might look at a 15-year because, like for an example, at the 15-year, it whittles down that equity, or builds the equity for you faster. So if you do have to sell, it makes you more liquid, if you will.
Yeah, you really want to start out with what your plan is for that particular property or that point in your life, and then take that into consideration. And then the type of financing and the type of property that you're interested in will fall in line from there.
Yeah, that was a huge point of ours when we were talking investment properties this week. is that the cost of the money and which kind of loan product you're in, and most investors now try to do 15-year mortgages, and the whole idea there is to get that, the actual equity position to where it's all cash and paid for as quick as they can.
You know what's interesting on that, Andy, is that in that 10 years ago, the philosophy is put as least money as you can into it, do interest only, don't pay any of it off, because you know what? It's going to go up so much in value. You don't have to worry about the loan. Isn't it funny how that's kind of changed?
Well, yeah, but there's a trifecta there, because you have the appreciation that you can, experience. That's one way to do it. But there's also the cash-on-cash returns that are there. So, you get a return there. But then there's the magic thing we were talking about in the break room here, or the green room, the depreciation and actually being able to depreciate that property. So even if it doesn't make any money, you can use that as a vehicle to lower your tax obligation every year. And it's just an interesting, lot of benefits there.
Absolutely. And
can you tell I just got out of class?
Yeah. you listen too. That's impressive. But, that is getting with an accountant, to be able to talk about all that stuff, because I'll tell you what, when you talk about depreciation, that is a serious vehicle to be able to even make money without paying taxes on it. Now eventually it's going to catch up to you because your basis in your house kind of keeps going down. But it's a real interesting thing. But, back to the first-time home buyer part of it, that, educating, like Andy did this week. I mean, he's been in real estate how long now? 20?
I mean, if you count the time I was sitting in the model homes, almost 20 years.
Yeah, so he's been in it 20 years, continually educating himself, deals with it every single day. A first-time home buyer going in and there's a lot of sources on the webs. Get on the website and just do some education, and find out what you're getting into.
Yeah, that's the National Association of Realtors too, which is your realtor.com, if you will, has a lot of great tools that you can use as well and then nobody's bugging you. You get to, read it at your own leisure, educate yourself, and then when you hit the marketplace, when you meet that realtor or that, mortgage professional the first time, you're prepared. You know what to talk about. You're, practicing your French before you get there, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And talking kind of going into the internet, you were talking a little earlier about a couple different apps for people, mobile apps. I mean, there's some things that, a lot of people, like you were saying earlier, don't want to get stuck with somebody. There's some advantages to being stuck with somebody and being under contract with someone, because if
they add value, though. That's the thing, is I think that what we're afraid of is a lot of the buyers will go out to that open house. And, that's their job, though. The agent's trying to interest you in having them help you buy your house. But if they don't add value, that's the thing, is that in today's world, you can ask for that and get it. I mean, the agents that are there, ask them what value are they going to add in that process. Do they know the area? Are they, do they have partners? Do they have, those are the things that add value more than just information.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing that's changed in real estate. Where before we hid all our stuff. All our stuff was our stuff. And then if you wanted our stuff, you had to come to us.
It was the information, right?
Absolutely.
When we'd guard it to our chest because that was the only thing we had for value.
Right. But that's what's happened is now that, people have come in, there's something about having some, some history and some background and have done these things.
Sure.
There's only so much, the internet, you kind of get some more vagueness kind of things.
Yep.
But what's happening in your exact market is a little different than what you're going to find.
Well, or how to write a good offer. That was, I think, the biggest thing. You look at what's out there, but are you really, writing a good offer? And when you're going to the listing agent directly, are you, getting what you really need there? Well, I don't know.
When we come back, that's another a good thing that we're going to talk about, and how people take their time in buying a new house. It's a blessing and a curse sometimes. Some people want to see 80 of them, and the fifth one they saw was probably the 80th one that they got, and then there's opportunity cost, kind of moving on and all that. But we'll get into that.
Right.
And then I know there's a question. I think we'll have Andy answer that after the break, and it talks about addressing the selling of farm acreage with no buildings on it.
All right. Let's do that. We'll head to a break right now, but if you do have a real estate question, either by phone or by text, 651-989-9226, or send a text at 81807. We'll be back with more of the Real Estate Radio Hour here on 830 WCCO.